How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. I'm your humble and gracious host, Jay Johnson. This is the Oblivious Podcast. We got the normal Motley crew with us. We got, first of all, my homie, the guy, DJ Ray Jack Cam himself, Chris Rowland. How's it going, man?
It's going really good. I'm just really excited that, just excited. So it's going great.
You're out here? Okay. You said you're ready. All right. So you're first up. You know, we're talking about Star Wars here. Give me a quick hit overview of how the Rebels has been going. You've been telling me you've been watching little Rebels out there.
Well, actually, so I started Rebels just because I was like in the timeline, which I guess I'm going to talk about a little bit. But like in the timeline, Rebels is kind of like that era. It's like in the original trilogy, right? It's kind of like leading up to that. So like I was like, I hadn't watched any of the animated series, so I started with that just because I liked it. But then I kind of realized recently with like the hype of the new Clone Wars season, because I'd watched like a little bit of season 1 of Clone Wars, but never like stuck with it. That, you know, like obviously it all like ties together, and so I actually went all the way back. So it's
been giving you all the feelings.
And I watched like the Clone Wars movie, and so now I'm actually going to Clone Wars. But yes, all that saying I am enjoying the animated series. The animation is a little. It's like it's
weird.
It's weird. Yeah, it's not bad. Like I don't want to sit here and say it's like bad, but it's just like, if I'm honest, I wish it was different. But
I'm kind of saying that's what kind of kept me from watching it. But I've been watching. I keep seeing trailers, and I think I want to come back to it now.
And I think
it might be growing on me. Basically,
I'm still early.
You want some hentai?
I mean, bro, I just want the hard line. Look, I'm all about hard lines, hand drawn. I hate the computers. I'm a sucker, man. What you think, buddy?
So, I mean, no, I've been enjoying it. There's a couple of things. I think like the animation will get better. I think it gets better as it goes on. I don't know. I'm enjoying it though. If you can kind of, because you can put yourself in the world. It's really cool stories going on. I've been enjoying it. So I actually just watched an episode before we got on here.
Always watching. All right. Next up, the hater himself, Dustin Chicken Wing Stokes. What's going on, man?
The actual spokesperson for Wingstop himself. Yeah. I'm good, man.
So,
how are you?
So I'm great. Listen, non-Star Wars related. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but give me your thoughts on the what's it? The Picard?
Oh no. First of all, it's a far superior series. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
Already shots fired. I appreciate it.
Picard is great, man. I mean, it's if you love Patrick Stewart, it's for you. It's a lot of fun, man. A lot of the old people are on there. So it's some good throwbacks. Data's on there. I
have no idea what these things mean.
That's okay. I'll just skip ahead. It's good, man. It's nostalgic. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Thumbs up. We'll check it out. I got to get on CBS. I think it's some bullshit. I got to get on there because I got to do this, and I guess I gotta watch.
No, you don't. You actually don't. You know what? We just need to make CBS get up with the modern era. They need to put their shit on Hulu. They need to put their shit on Netflix. Don't let them hold you hostage, man.
I want to watch Time Zone. What is it? Enter the Zone. The Phantom Zone.
Twilight Zone. My guy.
Twilight Zone. Thank you. I want to watch Twilight Zone. Yeah, that's my. I want to see what's up with the homie out here. And last but certainly not least, your boy LaQuinza Gooby Goob Morgan. How you doing, man? What's up?
Man, we're doing great. Listen, man. What y'all want me to tell you about this shit? Because I didn't bring no notes, too, because all this shit is going to be off the dome, man. If the shit sound wrong, it probably is. So
that's okay.
We just gonna go with that shit, okay?
First of all,
what?
That's all we want is off the dome.
No, my wife in the background, so she might hear her every now and then come in. Ask me to do something, I had to dip for a second, or you might just hear her, saying some random nonsense in the back. So
she doing some dishes?
No, she really doing. She doing homework right now.
Oh, I just heard some dishes back there.
Her homework has lots of dishes.
Yeah, her homework sounds a lot like dishes.
That's her computer. She put her computer on the top of the desk
on some forks.
But listen, man, we're doing great. Okay, I want to get this knowledge about the Star Wars because I'm excited about it. My boy Chris is excited to tell me all about this Star Wars bullshit. Because last time we did this is a redo of the podcast. I don't know. Should I say that?
No, please tell it.
Yeah, okay, so this is a redo. I quite like the first version, but niggas want to redo shit. But whatever, I appreciate it. Because this time I'm gonna be paying attention. Last time I was playing The Witcher, and I kind of had my shit muted.
All right.
listening through the microphone.
You
Go
had to
ahead, my
toss a
bad.
coin.
The perfect segue. Now listen, Warriors. This is why I saved you for last. I need on record, on film grain, tell the world how fantastic The Witcher 3 is.
Look, I give it a solid 8. 8.1. You know what I'm saying?
That's not bad.
Yeah, I give it a
good,
B. It does hell in comparison to, I don't know if that's the right way to compare that, to Red Dead. Okay, Red Dead is a full on masterpiece. 10 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Arthur Morgan is greater than Geralt of Rivia, Butcher of Blaviken, Blase, whatever you want to call this.
Blase.
You know, whoop out the band. Who gives a shit? But it's a good game though. I would you got 120 hours to spare. I say, give it a go.
Goodness.
It's got some, the DLC is actually is pretty good too. So
let's fucking go.
But Red Dead is a far superior video game. But listen, that's just me.
You can cast aspersions as you may, but you played the game, you enjoyed it. 8 out of 10. I'll take it. That's a win for me. Yeah, just so the audience knows,
I give you that.
3 is one of my favorite games. All right,
it's still 0 out of 10 for me, so we're clear.
Oh damn!
You gotta play it. We gotta get you playing first.
Yeah, I guess that would help.
I'm not gonna play it.
Oh my goodness, we'll get you right. No worries. All right, so this is the Oblivious Podcast. This is kind of the first go around of it. The podcast will morph and change as we go. Same guests. It's gonna be us here, me, Rage, Stokes, Juarez. That's the crew. We're going to rotate topics. This first go-around is going to be Star Wars. We're going front to back. All, 9 mainline movies plus the 2 interstitials, the Rogue One and Solo. We're going to go through. We're going to rate them, see what we think about them. But this is the first episode here. We got a couple things on the list that we want to do. But before we get to our first impressions and how we kind of came into Star Wars and then our eventual ranking, we're going to have our resident guru of Star Wars, Rage, take us through the timeline as he sees it and kind of give us a good primer before we kind of get into the meat of everything here. So
this is how he sees it, or this is like facts?
No, I'm just going to take you through the canon timeline of all the movies. But
I don't like canon stuff. Tell me what you think.
We'll get to that.
I don't think
this is just facts. I just want to lay you guys a foundation as we go through this because I think it's important to understand what all this stuff. This
Disney or
Kathleen
Overlord
Kennedy's
or
facts that she said.
All hail Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Empress.
Go ahead. My fault.
I think you're doing a great job.
Natalie Portman.
What?
Keira Knightley.
Anyways, so before I get into the timeline, I do want to say that this is the first of our podcasts, but like you said with the Oblivious, should we talk about the whole this being there being a normal podcast on this podcast, because we're doing another episode, right?
We can do whatever you want, man. All right, so we can go into as much detail. Tell the people as much detail as you'd like. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that this came about with we wanted to make a podcast in general. We've talked about it for years and years and years.
For sure.
And
for 20 years.
Yeah, a long time
at least.
And so me and Goob, I don't remember when exactly I said it. I feel like it was after me and Goop saw Rise of Skywalker or whatever. Because the Star Wars idea was a specific idea we would have to talk about Star Wars, but we also always just wanted to start a podcast on our own and talk about whatever. And so that will be separate from this. But I think just to say that the Star Wars timeline is kind of what got everything started, and then I just want to that just makes me feel good because Star Wars is my thing and it got us off the ground. So
it's the perfect jumping on point, right? We have a lot of topics to talk about. I mean, we have a lot of content for the top of rather, and that kind of gets us going. And then we can, the problem, I guess, is having infinite choice, and we've always had infinite choice, but now we have a kind of something to beeline onto. So that's where we're starting with, yeah.
Yep. And so, yeah, I'm excited to do all of these and then also make the other podcasts as well. But anyways, I guess that's good enough explanation. Probably not that great, but I don't know. I felt that was
we can come back to it.
This is the first thing. We haven't even recorded the other one. We're starting with Star Wars, and then we're going to do the other one. So anyways, So the timeline, I'm just gonna go through this real quick and go through the movies. But like, I wanted to place like all the Star Wars properties because like we might talk about them eventually, but there's more than just the movies that's really popular. Like we all love the Mandalorian, we love the games like Battlefront.
Love a strong word.
Well, I love Mandalorian.
I love Mandalorian.
Anyways,
I love Baby Yoda.
And then like, anyways, and so I just want to go through this and also tell you where like Clone Wars. Anyway, so the timing of Star Wars is kind of like, like before Christ, after death, BC AD. So in Star Wars, it's before the Battle of Yavin, after the Battle of Yavin, which the Battle of Yavin is, Goob, what is the Battle of Yavin?
Where Yavin was fighting Jesus.
What?
They was somebody headbutted somebody.
Isn't Yevon the god in Final Fantasy X?
Oh my goodness!
Huh? No, that's Yevon. Wait, I don't know what Yavin is. I don't know why you thought that.
Okay, so the first Star Wars movie, Jay, you know what the Battle of Yavin is, right?
No, nigga, that's
damn.
you.
I thought we were playing.
Jay don't know either. Okay,
no,
this is good.
That's you.
No, let
the
me see.
Okay.
Let me see. Battle of Yavin.
The Battle of, also known as Battle of the Death Star or as the Miracle of Yavin, was a major battle of the Galactic Civil War that led to the destruction of the first Death Star. It was a crippling blow to the Empire and one of the Rebel Alliance's first major victories.
Thank you, Goof. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Did you just pull that in the back of your brain? Or just
I
like,
recited that from memory.
I figured it was just back there and you just didn't remember it first. And you just...
Yeah, it just I had to a word just triggered it.
Yeah,
and Jay's like, oh shit. I was like, oh damn,
right.
I remember that now. My fault, bro. I didn't mean to do you like that. My bad.
So exactly, I know we're all Star Wars experts, and I say that very sarcastically because I will also go into this later that I am not the most like I haven't seen all of Clone Wars. Like I haven't seen all the properties. I'm like I love this and it's my favorite thing ever, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I've read all the books and all this shit. So this is also good for me too, because I like to see it visually. So, yes, the Battle of Yavin is the first episode 4, as it were, right? New Hope.
Okay.
Originally just called Star Wars, so it's before that, and after that. So I'm going to give you guys actual years. So 32 years before the battle, before the Battle of Yavin is when Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, happens. Okay, then we go.
It's like regular years or like Star Wars years. They're like different.
I'm guessing they're regular. I think it's just. Like,
I'm curious.
I'm guessing. I mean,
Jay said I could say stuff if I want.
Well, so let's get real
time is a
nerdy
relative
here.
concept.
Well, since we're talking about planets, though, aren't the years specific to like our planetary
solar
system?
That's a good point, man. I don't know. Yes. This is just what this.
So
I literally just googled this image.
So what you telling me is the Battle of Yavin?
It's all relative.
Everything
I'm just trying to
at
give
year
you,
0 is what you telling me.
Yes, year 0 is the Battle of Yavin. Yes.
What? Nigga.
It's just
fucking blown.
Okay.
Holy shit.
All right. So,
Ray, before you continue, though, I'm going to go ahead and applaud you and say shouts out because I was not prepared for this. This is awesome.
Not at all, man. I'm getting like a
Please continue.
I needed to do something. I had to do some preparation.
Ancient Aliens.
Look, I'm gonna buzz through this. All right. If you have any questions,
no,
honestly,
please take your time.
Okay,
man. Yeah, you go along.
You got the floor.
So Episode 1, Phantom Menace, happens 32 years before the Battle of Yavin. All right. So then we go to Episode 2. Nothing happens. No properties in between those two movies. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, happens 10 Star Wars years later. Okay, they're years. That's what it is. Don't ask me anything else about the years. It's just relative. All right. 22 years before the Battle of Yavin is when Attack of the Clones happens. The Clone Wars series connects Episode 2 and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And Revenge of the Sith happens 19 years.
Jesus Christ.
19 years before our Lord and Savior Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's pretty much it. If you want a Jesus. So then 14 years before the Battle of Yavin is when my favorite, I'm just going to say my favorite Star Wars property at the moment, Jedi Fallen Order, takes place. So,
let's go.
So that's
deep cuts.
Wait, which one is that?
The game that.
Oh, that's the game. Okay,
yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So that's 5 years after 5 Star Wars years after Episode 3, and then somewhere in between I guess 13 and 10 before the Battle of Yavin is Solo. That's when, because there's like a flashback and then he goes forward. So Solo is right after. It's basically, you know, like Cal Kestis and young Solo could be like in the same universe, which is dope. And Lando, of course, can't forget Lando. And what was Khaleesi's name? Do y'all remember in Solo? Anyways, not important.
Mother of Dragon, Breaker of Chains, blase. You know, she
nice,
like
good try. All right, so then 5 years before the Battle of Yavin is when Star Wars Rebels starts, and then it goes all the way up into Episode 1: A New Hope, Rogue One. Basically, all happens obviously Year Zero, whatever you want to call it. And then 3 years after the Battle of Yavin is when Mandalorian starts, and 4 years after the Battle of Yavin is Empire Strikes Back. So Mandalorian is like right when like.
So that shit early.
Wait, nope. I misspoke. Sorry, it's like a lot of lines. I'm wrong. Yeah, nope. Just scratch that. It was Battlefront 2. So there's a game for Battlefront 2, and that starts obviously because all that
shit canon.
Yeah. I mean Battlefront 2. There is some like campaign in Battlefront 2. So,
I ain't playing.
And it's canon. So, anyways, so yeah, Empire Strikes Back is for ABY. Then Return of the Jedi is the year after that. They're very close together. And then 5 years after Return of the Jedi, on 9 after the Battle of Yavin, is when The Mandalorian starts. So 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And then you go all the way to, I think this is, 33 after the Battle of Yavin. And that's when The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi take place. So they're because they're butted up together, so they take place at the same time. And then the Rise of Skywalker is just the next year. So 35 after the Battle of Yavin is when Rise of Skywalker takes place, and then there's a Star Wars Resistance animated series that I have not seen that connects all of those as well. So that is I just think it's cool to see it all on the timeline and see where everything takes place, especially because we're gonna keep getting more ancillary. I don't know if I said that word right. Star Wars content, which is going to be dope. Something like that. So more Star Wars shit. We're going to get more of that. So I think it's always cool to see it all like that. And that is my timeline explanation. Thank you for coming. Any questions?
Can I get you to do some homework, Rage?
Sure.
See. Okay.
I want this visualized.
What do you mean?
It's in the chat, my guy.
It's in the chat. Wait, no.
Yeah.
No, I want.
All right, man. This feel like y'all ever took like a intro level class and the teacher give you a test the first day? This would feel like it just happened.
She just wants to see your knowledge, just to see where we're at.
Let's see what y'all.
You're in some like weird ass class,
quick.
dude.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like something very specific. Women's literature from 1795 to 1860s. Let's just see where we're at. I shouldn't be in this class.
Perfect.
All right, so that's the timeline. That's perfect. All right,
and just for so the audience knows as well, I also dropped you guys a very much more complicated timeline that not only has all the movies and stuff, but also has and the games and all that, but also has comics and books in it too, which is pretty cool. So like, there's a Lando comic that takes place like 10 BBY, and there's a.
Is it Battle Before Yavin? Is that what that is?
Yes,
Yavin?
Before the Battle of Yavin. Yes, there's
okay.
BBY. Trying to like Ahsoka has a comic. That kind of stuff. So Tarkin has his own comic. I just like read Son of Dathomir for Darth Maul, which is pretty cool, and I'm sure I'll share some of that knowledge when we go through that movie of his backstory, which is pretty dope. So yeah, I just thought it was cool, so I wanted to act like I did some sort of research.
I definitely want to go back and read the Darth Vader comic from Marvel. I want to say it's the one from 2015.
It's good, bro. Yeah.
Is it really good? I haven't read it. I always wanted to read them. I heard they were pretty good, so yeah, I'll definitely go check that out. As far as my extracurricular Star Wars activity outside of like games and the movies, I guess. I bet. Well, that's the beautiful timeline from Rage. Once again, big props because I was not expecting that shit, but that's awesome. So yeah, the big reason we're here is to discuss Star Wars, and we felt the best way to do that will be to talk about kind of our experience with Star Wars. Pretty big motley crew here. We got Rage, who's the super fan. Me, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. Stokes, he likes it, but obviously maybe not be his favorite thing. And then Juarez is kind of just here for the flips and stuff. So we're going to go through each of our exposures with it, kind of our feelings on it, maybe before and then maybe now, kind of see where we are with such a long history. We've been doing this, well, they've been doing this for longer than we've all been alive, but, you know, we've experienced it at different points in our lives. So, yeah, I kind of want to go through it that way. Let me get, man, I guess we'll save Rage for last since he's a super fan. And since Juarez gave up the go, we did do this, I guess. So let's go with Stokes first, then Juarez, then me.
My history?
Then Rage. Yeah, give me your history.
I bet.
Okay. So, you know, since the last time we talked about this, I've had a little bit more time to think about it.
Oh, that's good.
And to kind of like, you know, kind of figure out why I feel the way I feel about Star Wars. And I think a lot of it has to come with my history with Star Wars. So did some thinking. And the very first Star Wars movie I ever saw, like, in theaters was Force Awakens. So maybe that's why I hold it in such high regard and compared to the rest of the series, because it's the first one that I saw. And I think that like the fanboys in the series, you know, a lot of their stuff comes from like being exposed to like the original trilogy, the OG stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it's like if that's the first movies that you saw like as a kid, like that's what you attach to, like that's, you know, what you hold dear or whatever. And I feel like that's kind of like universal for all the old school fanboys. You guys agree with that?
No,
I feel you. Yeah.
I just have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Am I a fanboy?
Yes.
Absolutely.
The biggest.
100%.
Is there a doubt about that?
Yeah, no doubt. We're here because of you, Ray. Shut your face.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah, absolutely. So I
just
mean,
want to take a poll.
Yeah, it's a 100% poll.
But that makes so much sense because that's what everyone talks about, right? Like you hear anyone who's even older than us, and
but I don't want to, because as we get into these reviews, I'm not like a fanboy in this. Okay, I guess I am a fanboy. No, I know it's not a bad thing.
Be a bad thing. It's fine.
It is, but I feel like I disagree with a lot of the Star Wars fan base, so it's almost just like I'm like
that's okay. You will have,
you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
that's
you
okay
always
too.
do that. I mean, it's like you know, this guy over here playing, you know.
I'm not saying that like my
I agree with all
opinion
the
is super unique and special, but it is. So
I think that there's a difference in like being a fanboy and being like raised on it, and then like being a fanboy and being like, if it ain't the original, I hate it.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I feel like there's a difference.
that I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh,
like
if
a
I didn't
fanboy
like,
of the
you know,
original.
if I hate Revenge of the Sith, doesn't mean I don't still love the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, absolutely.
I know
Cool.
it sounds
So
weird, but
so that's like the basics of like my exposure to it. I mean, I you know, I was never really exposed, never really saw any of the movies in theaters until Force Awakens. And so to backtrack a little bit from there.
what a way to fucking start, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So like my exposure to, I was exposed to the Star Wars movies like probably before I was 10 years old or so. But man, I mean, when you're, for me anyway, before 10 and you're exposed to Star Wars and it's like A New Hope, and I'm like, hey, what is this? Like, this is slow. Like, this is boring. Like, what's happening? Like, why aren't we watching SWAT Cats? Why aren't we watching like, X-Men? Like, it's Saturday morning.
SWAT Cats go hard, bro.
Oh, doesn't
You're
it
right.
though?
The Radical Squad.
G.I. Joe, let's go.
The color scheme with like the purples and like
Why am I not watching like Magneto suplex Wolverine over and over again on Saturday morning? Why are we watching this shit? And that's just kind of like how I felt as a kid. So I never really attached to like the OG trilogy. And because of that, like when I think we were all probably like teenagers when, or maybe close to that, whenever the prequel trilogy came out, and I just like, I wasn't into it. I was like, everybody's like, oh, it's Star Wars. It's so great. I'm like, really? Cause I've seen them and I didn't like it. And so I don't really care about this. And I mean, I played the pod racing game on N64. And that's about it. Because right after that, I played Mario Kart 64, and I was like, "This is a shitty game." So
Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing is also a better N64 game. Cruising USA is a better N64 game.
Shit, now we talk.
F-Zero is a better N64 game. I mean,
N64 podcast. I got.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that.
playing the wrong
game
Star
was
Wars
so
games.
Which one? F-Zero? Yes, it was.
Yes, F-Zero.
You talking about the original or the N64?
Any of them, my hand-eye coordination was not for that.
You just gotta get that Falcon punch up. That's all.
Falcon
so-
punch!
So yeah, I didn't really watch the prequels, and so fast forward a little bit. My first real exposure to Star Wars would have happened when I was in college. I moved in with my cousin Jonathan, So shouts out to him whenever he listens to this. But
Okay, Jonathan, let's go.
yeah, what's up? What's up, my guy?
Big moves.
He was the guy who like actually introduced me to it. And when I say fanboy, I mean fanboy. The guy had the lightsabers in his room. He had the posters. He like named his dog Plo. He named his cat like Kitten Fisto. I mean, like not only a fan, but like a deep cuts fan. Like read all the books, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, super fan. So it became like my personal mission in life just to troll all the Star Wars movies when he showed them to me.
I see. Okay.
Right. Because we have that kind of relationship where I'm like, hey, I'm just here to tell you Firefly's better. Battlestar's better. Stargate's better. Star Trek is better. And, you know, so every May the 4th, I'd be wearing a Trek shirt. Like I don't know, just stuff like that. It was just a trolling thing. And he loves the original trilogy. And so for me, it was like a personal joy of mine to be like, this is so dated. This is so garbage. Look at how cheesy this is.
This is so garbage.
and then I would do the same thing with the prequel trilogy. Only my appreciation for the prequel trilogy is how much the fanboys hate it. And it's also like super memeable. Like that's why I love it. Like,
it's true.
I'm sorry. Like Star Wars is fantastic. Sure. Whatever. But all the memes come from the prequels. The prequels are great. If for nothing else, for the memes. So that was my experience. Right. Thank you. Darth Jar Jar is my guy.
There's plenty of let's just say there's plenty of enjoyment for the wrong reasons in the prequels.
Yes, 100%. I mean, there's some good stuff in there too, which we'll get to later. But anyways, that was my exposure up until Force Awakens. And then Force Awakens comes out. I see it. And I've seen Force Awakens in theaters more than I've seen any other movie. Like that's how hard it resonated with me when I saw it. I saw it maybe 5 times.
Wait, you saw it more than one time?
I saw it like 5 times in theaters.
God damn,
which is insane. Like I if I see a movie in theaters more than once, it's usually twice, and that's it. Because I'm like, you know what? It'll come out in a few months. I can pirate it.
Right.
I'm not paying for this more than twice. But that movie I saw several times, and I loved it. It was exciting. I loved the visuals. It felt like the old school movies, but it was exciting and well paced. And I just fell in love with like the new universe, the new characters, everything that was going on in it. And so with that, you know, it kind of carried me into to Last Jedi. Before we get to Last Jedi, it was more like I was like, hey, well, maybe I've like misjudged this series. Maybe I need to go back and like rewatch some of this old stuff because there's a lot of like cool throwbacks to obviously Han and to like Chewie and to like a lot of the old people. And I was like, man, I want to go back and rewatch those. Maybe I'll have a new appreciation for them now that I love Force Awakens. And I did. And it totally worked. And it made me appreciate the prequels, you know, the originals, and now the I guess the sequel series, all the same. So yeah, my Star Wars fandom is kind of like out of order, I guess you could say. You could probably start it with Force Awakens, backtrack it to everything else from there. But yeah, that's my backstory for Star Wars.
That's cool. I think that means that JJ kind of did what they wanted, or at least Disney kind of wants to do with these, right? Like you want to have the reset, and he gets a lot of shit for Force Awakens being so close to A New Hope and, you know, being as bombastic as it is or whatever. But, you know, Rage, he's going to attest to it pretty soon. It's like making Star Wars be modern, whether it be in the 70s or in the, you know, the aughts, you know, that's what gives it its appeal, you know? So that's cool that it got you in and then got you to kind of go in reverse, especially from someone who was like in, you know, either Trek or Battlestar or all these other things, which, you know, I mean, Trek maybe not so much, but the other things are more modern interpretations of the sci-fi kind of genre, you know?
Right.
That's very
look here, Jay. We only talking Gavins on this show, or Yavins. We're only talking Yavins. If you're measuring something, measure it in Yavins. Okay.
No, that's a great point, though. That's a really good point to make.
It's a great point, and I think he did the same thing with Trek as well. I mean, like Trek is like diplomacy and stuff like that, and it's not really exciting for the most part. But he did the same thing whenever he directed the Trek movies, for better or worse. You know, some of the hardcore fans were like, "Oh, I hate this. This isn't Trek," and then like. But it brought in a lot of new people because it's exciting, it's fresh. You know, Chris Pine's out there looking good, like
killing it.
Everybody, yeah. You got
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. He's all right.
Fuck is that?
You know who Chris Pine is?
No idea.
Chris Pine's best role for me. This is completely sideways, but we're gonna get to it eventually. Chris Pine's best role is, I'm gonna say, ideal Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse. He's this first blonde, really good Peter Parker. Chris Pine did that voice, and he fucking kills it. And that's my big shout out to Chris Pine.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't mean to go on a random sidebar about Chris Pine.
No, you're
fine.
fine.
Yeah, I guess the guy who plays Spock is fine
I
too.
see him now. I see
Zoe
him.
Saldana's in there too. So
I
I mean, there's lots of other attractive people in the Star Trek movies. But anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand.
No, it's so funny. It's like people have not people. I guess it's kind of mean to say, but you take something and you make it for the masses, and it's almost as if that thing that was made originally wasn't for the masses, and it's like people get kind of upset about that. It's like, well, this was always kind of meant to be for people. Star Wars, even through the dark ages of the prequels, he kind of made it be political and whatever it was, and it got kind of out of touch. But this was always meant for people to enjoy and kind of take in. And I feel like the new series really nails that down in a way that the original series didn't. I think it makes it a lot more approachable in that kind of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll give you my quick history before we get on to the next ones. I think my history means something to me in a different kind of way because everything about Star Wars and its surrounding, creations, its influence on its directors and producers and even technology as we know it is like even more interesting to me personally than it is like the series itself. So, some of the obviously we know they basically made special effects as we know it, Industrial Light and Magic. I mean, that shit's crazy. Everything they did, all the practical effects, even the computer effects. And, George has kind of gotten a little crazy, I guess, going back and changing things and wanting to remake his mistakes, as it were, a little bit with the movies. But
revisionist history.
Yeah. The whole, don't get me started. And actually, Rage, I don't even know your feelings on it, but the Solo shoots first thing, like that, the fact that that's like a topic that keeps getting brought up, and
I don't get it.
Yeah,
explain that, please. I don't understand that.
So they've just doctored this scene in A New Hope where Solo and Greedo sit down in the cantina, and it's
You say
like
Greedo. Explain that.
Well, when you see the movie for the first time, when you watch it.
My fault then.
No, I'm just kidding. Have you seen A New Hope? At least like the first original Star Wars?
A New Hope. Luke
Skywalker's family gets burnt up by stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's one.
Blase.
Yeah. I seen that one. That's for me. That's probably the worst one I seen. That
Right. I remember. Yeah, that's coming. Thanks for the spoilers there.
Stay tuned.
Got it. So there's a scene there in the cantina, and I think everybody's pretty much heard about this, but it's great. They have just edited it differently. If you go and watch the original and the remastered and even the Disney Plus version, I guess there was another
like 5
change.
different cuts.
I forget what does he say? It's the what is it? Kaplunky or something?
Yeah. Do you feel lucky?
It's like
that's what that is.
McClunky. That's what it is.
I
think even on the closed caption, he says McClunky. I don't. It's just what I think it was modified because it was it's really cold of Han to just shoot Greedo like that.
But he's
without him firing first. But it's just he's a bounty hunter. He knows what's up. He just pulled the trigger quicker because he's smart. He's Han. But I think Disney was oh, that's a little too much. So, or not Disney. I don't know. I guess Disney. I don't know. It's dumb. I don't understand it, obviously. So yeah, but that's the whole thing.
But even with all that, I feel like what they gave to us as far as special effects. I mean, one of the guys who worked on the original Star Wars, created Photoshop. It's something that we use all the time. It's everywhere. That's pretty crazy to think about. So on that back end, I really do have a big appreciation for it. But as far as my exposure to it, like everyone here, we're early 30s. So we weren't there for them the first come out. I actually didn't even see them when they got re-released, but I guess I was probably in grade school, rented them from Movie Gallery, kind of went through them all, 4, 5, and 6, checked them out. I thought they were cool. I thought they were really good. I enjoyed them. Empire was my favorite one as a kid. The Snow Planet, fucking loved the speeders, playing the games. Shouts out to Rogue Squadron on the GameCube. Me and Ray spent a lot of time with that. Mm-hmm. Always, it's a cool, great design, cool story, all that good stuff like that. But it never really, I guess, kind of captivated me to the extent that it did other people. You could always see it around you. It's so hard to get away from it. Luke is Luke, I'm your father, all this stuff, Yoda. And and I liked it fine enough, but nothing too crazy. Then we get to the prequel series, which I don't really remember, I guess, maybe for the better. Kind of just flew past. I mean, I knew I enjoyed some of it. I loved all the ending fights in Clone Wars, you know, Yoda coming out in the fight, Dooku, who's the guy, General Grievous, all those guys looked dope, you know. I knew that there was something kind of missing, but
I got Mace Windu.
Shouts out to the homie. Best lightsaber in the game for sure. But still, I feel like
you know how Mace Windu got that lightsaber?
He probably picked it knowing Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I'm pretty sure the story is. I don't know if somebody can correct. Maybe this will go down as me being wrong.
He said he needed a different one. He had to have.
Yes. It has nothing to do with canon. He's just like, I want a purple one or something.
That sounds like that. Samuel. Yeah, that's awesome.
And he got it. So and I think they made it. There's some, I don't remember. I remember reading it somewhere because like all the Star Wars means something different. All the colors mean something different of the lightsabers.
It says bad motherfucker on it too, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like I think so.
That's canon. Yeah, no, that's canon. It's
I think so. Yeah. Perfect. I hope so.
So all that was cool. I didn't have a discerning eye back then, so I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I guess it's not like the best stuff, but it's okay. But yeah, somewhere between the prequel series and I guess growing a brain, and then them thinking about doing some more stuff, I started kind of like getting, kind of hype. I was like, oh, cool, Star Wars is coming back. That's just tight. I'm here for it, and I'm a JJ fan. I like it. I like all the fucking lens flares and all the over the top action, because the hype. I don't know, that's cool. Yeah, all the reflect. Give me that, man. That's cool. I mean, I know people were, even when he was announced, people were like, oh well, it's just gonna be this or that, and it's not gonna be what it was. I don't know. It's like I'm here for a good time, and as Stokes already put pretty plainly, like Force Awakens killed it, and that really brought me back in. Like, okay, this is what Star Wars should be. This is where I want this series to kind of go. And I think it went that way because everyone who worked on it was fans. And, we'll get to it more here when we get to Rogue One, which is my favorite flick from the Star Wars series. So
many spoilers right now.
Yeah, I know, right? How many fans were on that and what they did to it. So, my test is that it's gotten better over time, even though it's, had what I feel like it's kind of downtimes, but as it's gotten better, it's also meant more to me. And yeah, I'm here for it now, man. All right, Warriors, it's you.
Oh,
let's go.
Never mind.
Oh, wait.
No.
Ray, what you got, baby?
I'm good.
No. Come on.
What you got, man? Say what's on your mind, man.
I was just going to say, because I've been listening to you guys here, like, talk about how, I know Goob's seen every single one of them like multiple times. Knows the stories in and out, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I know, Jay, you're talking about, the prequels. You don't really remember them. Stokes, like Force Awakens. Like, I think it's what's cool about this podcast is that I'm gonna get to like go through all these different titles kind of with you guys, since now you're forced to watch them all. And then I think that's cool. But I think that's cool in the sense that like, Star Wars is not for the like super uber Star Wars fan, like fanboy. Like it's for like everyone. And so sure. Like everyone has their different experiences with it, and it's so accessible like to everyone. I think that you don't have to like know the whole canon timeline to enjoy Star Wars. And so I think it's cool how to like hear how you guys enjoy it differently, and it's going to be cool to like watch how some of it changes, or if you like do like if you do, I mean, God forbid you actually like Star Wars more at the end of this, that would be cool for me. So
I probably just like it equally as much.
I knew it.
That's
probably
fine.
like it a little bit less. I mean,
that could happen too. Very much. You could all hate it.
It's okay.
You just all hate it. Like, never talk about Star Wars ever again after this.
Well, I mean, the real test will be, we'll be able to watch it in the home. I know whenever we left, when we left the theater from the last one, Rise of Skywalker, Jesse was like, I will never have to watch this scroll again, thank God. But then she came home and she started watching them all on her own volition. And then she got real hyped because I yelled at her because she wanted to start from 1, but we're changing our order again this time. So she's happy about this order. So
No. And first of all, that's not the last scroll she'll see. Disney didn't buy this series to make 3 movies and call it a day.
I tried to tell her. I was like,
no.
You're going to get a break.
Gotta make that money, baby.
That's right.
We'll be back.
Give it about a decade, Luke Skywalker's going to be fighting Thanos. It's
Star Wars episode 21.
I'm trying to see the Gold Saber cut some people down, man. Let's go.
Right, yeah. Or the Darksaber.
Oh, the dark
that's a
saber.
thing.
Yes,
That's coming. That's a
All right,
cool
talk to me,
thing.
Warriors.
I don't know what dark saber is. What is that?
At
Have you
the
seen
end
The
of
Mandalorian?
Mando.
End of Mandalorian.
Okay, still I can't remember that. I watched it like one time.
The last episode where he
When
like had the,
when Gus Frings takes off his chicken.
The chicken man,
chicken shirt,
man.
and he breaks out the dark saber and says, "You want original or extra crispy?"
Okay, I remember that. I got you.
yes.
Hey, let's see, man. Well, listen, man. Mine gonna be. Is there a limit how long I need to go? Because mine will probably be the shortest. one.
Please, man, take your time. Go fast.
I mean,
So-
do you want to just use your previous recording?
I mean, no, man. I can make another one for you, man. I don't want to, regurgitate jokes and shit.
So yeah,
Whatever.
for people listening,
Yeah,
Goob originally said just to use his original recording, and we were going to edit it in here. But it sounds like he wants to give us a new one.
It was so perfect the first time around.
It was pretty
I
good.
mean, you can edit the shit in if you want. I mean,
Give us a
whatever.
take, and we'll pick which one we like.
Yeah,
Maybe-
that's right.
yeah,
I'm
we'll
going to
cut 'em
edit
off.
it,
I
so I'm just
mean,
going to pick whichever
yeah,
one
that-
I like.
Yeah, I bet this one will be super short anyway. So, like on the last one, I don't really know a lot about Star Wars. If I was to describe myself as, I say I'm a Star Wars newbie or, like a laggard. I don't really be up to date on the shit. I like watching the shit on, in the movies. So I dig shit like that. The first time I think I watched it was probably like high school. This I had on the other recording too. Like it was just on TV, probably like, whatever fucking channels, I was on watching in the background, maybe TNT or some bullshit like that. I don't know no lore, in the Star Wars universe. Your boy just got schooled on Gavin years or Yavin years today. whatever that shit is. But I will say it's a very dense universe. It's got like a lot of diverse characters and shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's cool. I dig it. But other than that, I don't think it ain't really changed my life in no kind of way. I mean, we had Star Wars, whoop de whoop. We didn't. Fuck it. So that's my Star Wars take. Bam.
I want that quote. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take it or leave it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But
that's all I
think
got,
I'm
man.
probably going to pull some of the best of his last cut and like probably edit it in. So just
All right, go for it. You do you, boo boo.
I
see how
Rage. DJ
ambitious
Rage
I'm
I
feeling.
Can himself, the world's #1 Star Wars fan on this podcast.
man. All right.
Mr. Glass.
I have notes. I've come prepared because
See, I ain't got no notes.
this was kind of what I was trying to like say earlier, and I don't think I said it very well. But like, just the reason I want to do this podcast is obviously since the dawn of time, since you guys have been in a relationship with me as a human.
Ooh.
Um,
Don't tell me what I'm with you. That's a two-way street, sir.
Everybody's
you know
my
what I mean.
boyfriend.
Strictly platonic, but yeah. So I've always been a Star Wars fan, and I will talk about it. And I have a lot of feelings, and who am I going to share them with? Nobody but you guys. So
You scared Jessie when we were on the phone the other
What?
night. She's still scarred when you were just going off. We were talking about Rise of Skywalker after
yeah.
after she was off work and you're on speakerphone. She was like, "What? I've never seen this side of Rage before. What is?"
Oh yeah, I was
What is
upset.
he
I can
on?
get upset. And I'm looking forward to doing that, and then having like Stokes troll me and all this sorts of
coming,
things.
baby. Get
Yeah,
ready.
so no, I'm looking forward to all that.
it's a
But all that to say,
relationship.
but on a serious
Give and
note,
take.
kind of on a serious note, I guess, is just like getting to have a record of all this, and like even like taking like why we want to start this podcast. Like, if anybody listens to this, that's cool. Like, I think if we can like bring people together because they can like identify with us and they enjoy us and God forbid think we're entertaining or something, that's dope. But like just to be able to talk to my homies and then like record it all and then just like have a record of it and then just like whatever. Like,
I love listening to that first episode, by the way. And
like
it's
it's just
gonna
like
be-
yeah.
cool, and I think like I hope we like continue to do this and never stop, and I just think it's a cool thing. And but yeah, so that's why I would bug you guys about Star Wars, and I was just like, look, let's just fucking like start a podcast. I'll like talk about it. Let me bug you guys all once and for all, and like I'm gonna fucking like plead my case once and for all instead of just like random like spats of of rants and whatnot. So I think that's
I'm personally glad that we're doing this
Yeah.
because we can just talk about it and we don't actually have to like play a terrible game like FIFA while talking about it, like we have been for like the last 10
Right,
years. You
right.
know?
That is the true
Right.
thing. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, just
I can
talk.
focus
We don't
on
have
it.
to like also suffer, you know, and like
Sure.
die a little bit inside
Sure.
while doing so.
Sure. We play a lot of pro clubs to those in the audience.
I'm already dead.
And
So.
We could just play a better game like Forza. That's all I'm trying to say, but it's fine.
when have
or
we ever
Halo.
played Forza?
Never. That's the problem. So
Or Mario Kart, a game that we can all agree on.
There you
Yeah,
go. That's true.
We should get back on. So
That's
anyways,
too competitive.
so-
though, and I crush all y'all.
It is. Yeah. Well, I don't know about
that's
that.
not true. Jay. You don't want this business, okay?
Rage, what you don't want is me in Star Fox. That's what you don't want.
Oh shit! Let's go.
That's a challenge or no?
Are we talking N64?
Just like
Star
Juarez
Fox?
doesn't want me in Halo too.
Are we
But,
talking
Man, you don't
N64
want
Star
these
Fox?
problems, man.
Whoa.
come get these hands.
N64 Star Fox?
Anytime.
Oof.
Any Star Fox, bro.
We're gonna have to make that.
Any,
I got,
pick them.
that's gonna be some content.
See me in Star Fox
yeah.
Adventures. Shouts out GameCube. What's up?
Oh, okay.
So that's why we started this. I wanted to start this. We're doing this. Dope. So my history with Star Wars is like I remember like in the first recording we did, like I was like feeling embarrassed about like being like it is kind of like cheesy, I guess, and a little bit like whatever, but like it is what it is. I'm very positive on it, and like I just like think it's great. And yes, I know I'm biased, and I know it's because I love it, but like I am, and I also like don't. And I'm looking forward to like arguing points of like contention of the new series of like obviously it's been very polarizing with the J.J. Abrams and the Rian Johnson like battle that's happening in the fan base or whatever. And so I'm looking forward to like, you know, talking about that and like ranting on why I don't agree with kind of like some of the more negative things about it. But also just it's so special to me. Like I just remember, I think I saw the first original trilogy when they re-released it in theaters. I don't remember the year. I should have looked that up. I could have done that research, but sorry, I didn't. And I believe my dad took me to see it. I don't remember. I tried to ask him. He's like, I think he said because he doesn't like Star Wars or whatever, but I think he took me to see the first one. And then I think maybe my grandmother actually in California when I would go to visit her. I remember seeing, I think Empire Strikes Back with her. I believe
It's 97, bro.
97. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was a little kid. So I would have been like 8 at that point. Yeah, 7 or 8 when the original one came out. So yeah, so I mean, that hit me like I mean that's kind of a pretty perfect age.
Perfect timing, to be honest.
And so I just
years,
remember
or is that
what?
Yavin
It's
years?
Yavin years for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that math. So I talked about this the first time first, and that's why I was feeling the cheesy thing I'm about to say is about Luke Skywalker, and you know he was kind of just like a vehicle, like to as a kid, like being from at that point in time I had relocated to Meridian, Mississippi. I lived in a small town now, and Luke Skywalker was in like the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I think that was just kind of like a cool like thing for me to latch onto as a kid. And so just needless to say, I was pretty enamored with it from the get-go, and I was just very in on not only just the movies, but just like the sheer like vastness of the Star Wars universe. Like obviously we love video games, and like one of my favorite games of all time is Shadows of the Empire on N64. And I remember like being like, oh, this happened like behind the movie, and like, hey Goob, can you look up the year Shadows of the Empire came on? I had to be like Empire Strikes.
Empire.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's a video game.
Yeah, it's a video game. It had to be like Empire Strikes Back time, but like I just remember like seeing like
On Nintendo 64.
Yeah, Nintendo 64.
Shit, 96, fam.
Yeah, 96. So like that same time, and I remember playing that game because it was like one of the first games I got in 64 because I'm
It's
pretty
on
sure
Hoth, right?
But
that's where it starts. You start on Hoth, and you start in the Battle of Hoth, And I remember like being in like the base, like, you know, there's because Han Solo takes Leia out of the base during Empire, and like you run into that room and you see like the Millennium Falcon taking off without you, and so you have to like find your ship within the base, and you got left there by yourself, and so you're playing through like, and I just remember like thinking that was so cool, and like I still have a bunch of toys. I think I have like I need to go get it. It's like a box in my mom's attic or whatever, and I had like that character from
Shadows of the Empire.
Toy.
That ain't even canon though.
I know, and we'll talk about that. I'm going to get to that about the whole, like, you know, canceling some of the extended universe and what have you. I guess I'll address that now. I don't care. I mean, it sucks, but like, it doesn't take away like the joy I have for Shadows of the Empire. You know, like it doesn't like ruin it for me.
Rendar's still your boy.
Yeah, and I think they can still bring him back too. Like they. You know, it's not just that they didn't just say like none of this matters anymore. Like I think they can still pull from it. Like if they wanted to make a Dash Rendar movie and bring back Shadows of the Empire, and because I believe Thrawn has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not going to even try and go there. But
I mean, like more importantly, like kind of what we talked about before is like some of the most interesting stuff in Star Wars is the stuff that's going on outside of the Skywalker saga. You know, like
yeah.
Or at least for me. I mean,
right.
I feel like that's for most of us. Yeah. But I mean, like the universe, like you said, is so vast and there is so much going on that it's kind of cool. Like all like the subplots and all the stuff going on behind the scenes that makes, you know, the central story pop that much more, I guess.
And so I just remember, and like the Force and like the light and good, like I just remember being enamored by it and really loving it. And we'll get, and obviously it's going to be really cool to go through all the movies and like tell you about what I like about them and why like certain things that people say are bad, but also like why I agree some things are bad. But all that to say is I love all the, like we've like talked about the prequels not being very good right now, but I love all the movies, like no matter what. And so even if I don't.
Do you love the prequels? Do you though?
They're Star Wars, so I love them. But like I have a very, it's a love-hate relationship.
You need to let those Qui-Gons be Qui-Gon.
Like I don't, you're right. That's a good point. You make a good point. And so, and then the other reason, and also that's just kind of like the childhood kind of like nostalgia, like love it. It was my thing, my jam, whatever. But like as I got older, I really, and especially with this new series and like obviously looking back on the old series, I think Star Wars is super contemporary and I just love that. I think, Jay, you made this point on like the first recording of it. I've kind of, you can correct me if I'm not getting this right, but you said like remember we talked about Luke being kind of like wet and like this kind of like the dialogue can be kind of cheesy and like and all this kind of stuff, or it's not, you know, the scripts are not like, you know, winning any Oscars for best screenwriting or anything like that. Like, granted, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm just saying like it's a
ain't good.
Well, in the prequels, yeah, you're right. But like,
damn. Shots fired.
But all that to say, it's like because it's like this vehicle that you got.
Yeah, he's a
placeholder.
And it seems like it works for you, and that's really cool to see because I do give you a lot of shit about a lot of things. But you know, as far as really diving into something and really getting what they're, you know, showing you, that really connected to you with Star Wars, and that's exactly what that is. They use Luke as this person that anyone can be. He's from anywhere, yada yada yada, and that really stuck with you. And you know, a reason, like we said before, is that it's for you to put yourself in that kind of situation, then kind of fill in some more of the blanks and more of the lines, and then just kind of go on that journey. And yeah, no, that's, you see in the beginning, and then he makes his progression, and then as you go with it, you kind of, you feel him, you feel his thing, you feel what his struggle is. So yeah,
like there's a tweet I saw recently from Mark Hamill, where I think there was like just some like discussion. I think it was just like random Twitter discussion about like Luke, I believe his like sexuality and whether if he's like gay or anything like that. And like I think Mark responded and said something to the effect of like, if that's it, like Star Wars can be what you make it, and I think it's by design. Like you can, like if in your world that's where your imagination kind of takes the character, that works. And I think like again, so I just think there's an intentional like kind of like playground for the fan to like fill things in, and like obviously there's things that are canon that like you can't like change or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like it's gonna be fun to like have a lot of very interesting theories that I think can connect and justify certain things that people think are unjustifiable. But yeah, so I just love how, and that was another tangent again. Sorry, I do those a lot. So that's, I guess, that's the podcast.
But that's the fun of the universe, right? It's like,
yeah,
people kind of give it crap for saying, okay, well, we're kind of leaping logic or this isn't plausible. But the entire foundation, if they are fans and they say that, okay, well, I watched the first movie when I was a kid, or I watched it in theater, so I know best. And it's like, well, by now as an adult that the behind the scenes is that they did that stuff all on the fly. Like, a lot of the biggest decisions were made by George Lucas's wife because, he kind of had an idea and other people told him better. And we'll get more into that about him kind of not being on those reins and kind of what he made. But that series always, it bred creativity in its production and its thoughts and what it was trying to show the people. And that was literally a part of it. So them making this world was always...
What was it trying to show on Dennis? What was it trying to show?
It was trying to show that you can be something better than where you think you are, and you can mean something in the vast galaxy, in the galaxy far, far away. You have an importance, and it actually kind of weirdly, I know people complain about this. It makes the galaxy seem small because these motherfuckers are always running around the same people, and all this shit like that,
right.
Which does kind of break logic, but at the same time, I mean, one of the dumbest cliches we have is like, it's a small world, but that also makes it feel kind of better. It kind of makes you feel better that you're not really lost in there. I'm getting kind of like in the weeds here, but I think that does mean something to the series as a whole. And I feel like in different ways, people have kind of translated that throughout the series.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I think, so I was talking about it being contemporary, and I think there's just I don't think Star Wars is trying to say anything as in this is how, this is evil and this is what good is. I think it just gives you it asks a lot of questions and makes you think about things. And we'll get more into detail on what those things are when we go through the movies, but that I think you can parallel with the real world. And again, so I don't think necessarily Star Wars is making points and opinions, but it just kind of poses the questions and the themes of the movies. And I've always thought that was cool. And I think it does make me think about things, and it's a cool world to kind of parallel, to go all the way back to when I started on the nostalgia, being a kid in the middle of nowhere, and Luke being, getting picked up on this adventure, but then being within the world. And, we talk about in the prequels about how George Lucas says they were kids movies, but all this intergalactic trade federation,
I can't even read that opening
Senate.
I'm a grown ass man. I look at it, I'm just what is this saying?
You know what I'm saying? I love I politics and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy
an international trade
I don't know if enjoy is the right word, but it's interesting.
Trump's doing that. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. What's happening?
Right, exactly. So it's that's cool, and not that it's executed on perfectly all the time, but I just think it's I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it is cool. I admire what George was trying to do. I would do with the prequels, even though, man, it didn't go well.
It's weird because original Star Wars is kind of campy, and I guess it just gets more campy, but it just kind of rubs people the wrong way, which is kind of funny because it was kind of birthed on that, but yeah.
Right. So I guess that's pretty much it. And all this to say is obviously I'm going to be super positive, and I'm sure as your guys' eyes roll when I talk about things, other people's were, but I'm going to try. I do it is just kind of who I am, and I do love it, and I'm not, and I'm biased, but also I'm not I went through the timeline and stuff, but I haven't seen everything. I'm going through Clone Wars now. I didn't read all the books. I'm not the smartest Star Wars fan either. So I guess I want to disclaim that I'm not claiming to know all the things, and so there's definitely things that I'll probably say that are wrong and maybe have been proven.
We got staff
because there are things I'm seeing in the Clone Wars. I'm oh shit, that justifies a later thing, and I'll try and remember to bring those up as well as I go through the Clone Wars, make notes of them, because that's been pretty cool. I forget what it was, but there was something in the new movies, just a technique, it wasn't tracking through hyperspace, but it was something like that they did in the original one, and it kind of gave precedent to what happened in a movie that I think people had problems with.
I'm doing the same thing.
Oh, I remember it. So Master Plo, I think I might be saying that wrong, but in the Clone Wars, there's they blow up their ship, and so they eject, and then like the droids are like trying to hunt them down, and like they're like literally like lasering out their pods, so like the clone troopers get sucked into space and die, and so they go to the one with the Jedi and his clone troopers, and he said, and he's just a Jedi, and he doesn't have like a spacesuit on, but he said, I can withstand the pressure for a limited amount of time. And what did Leia do in The Last Jedi?
She withstood the pressure for a limited amount of time.
Exactly. So that's all I'm saying. I know because people really hate that. We'll talk about that more. I'll just leave that there. We'll talk about it later. We don't need to like go into it now.
Well, in the hit movie Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord stayed out in space for a little while too. So
best Marvel movie.
It's all
Let's
fine.
go. Best one.
So I'm just really excited. But yeah, that's my history. Long-winded,
right.
and I'm going to be long-winded in this podcast a lot. But it is what it is. So let's do this shit.
All right, bet. Well, we got an hour intro in here. Getting to the top of the show. I love it. Feeling the energy. Rage, be as long-winded, go on as many tangents as you want to. The preface is the best thing in English that we have. I love it. All right, so we're going to discuss next our ranking. We're going to do our ranking of the entirety of the movie saga. That's the Skywalker saga plus the two side movies, Rogue One and Solo. The reason why we're going to do it is because we want to be able to discuss everything in this podcast, each one by one. God. And we want to see, we're not going to change each other's minds, probably not, but we want to see if we're going to be able to change our own minds and see if our list looks differently after we've kind of gone through everything. So yeah, that's what's going to be. We'll give our list and then we'll go through. You can do it how you want to. You can do the list completely, or you can do the list and explain, kind of why each one is there. And I'm still talking, so I'm going to kick us off and give you my list. So first one, best Star Wars. Well, actually, sorry. No, time out. Rage.
Yes.
Super fan here. Give us the definitive Star Wars list first.
Oh, I gotta go first?
Yeah, give us a list. Because, I mean, we're here for you. We're playing this off.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I want to hear. And you can kind of go through. I know you talked for a little bit before, but just you keep the energy going. Go through. Give us why, what's, where.
They're getting tired of me, Jay. They're going to get tired of my voice.
I'm not going to. Not even a little bit. Give us.
I'm a little bit tired of it, but it's
give us why, what's where.
Damn.
And we'll go from there.
All right, so I'm gonna start from the bottom. I think I started from the top last time, and we gotta start from the bottom.
You start from the
power bottom.
We are starting from the top.
Let's go with descending, ascending.
Wait, what? Do you want me to start at the top, or you want me to start at the one that I think the worst is first?
Start at the gooch.
No, start with the good first.
With the what?
The taint. Start with the good first.
The taint. Yes.
Oh yeah.
The good. Okay, so my number one, and still number one, and I have changed my list.
Have you really changed it since the last time we talked?
I did say I did.
Fucking
I did.
coward.
Well, it's just the Rise of Skywalker because it's so new and it's like the more it's fresh. I've had so much time to think about.
How many times have you seen it? Twice.
I've seen it twice, and it's just more just thinking about it and thinking about it.
Yeah.
So all that to say,
how many times have you watched Last Jedi since you saw Rise of Skywalker?
Last
Once.
Jedi?
Yeah, no less than 4.
A lot of times.
No less than 4.
A lot of times.
Is it more than 5? It's gotta be
Probably.
at least like 5.
Where do you have all this time? This movie's only been out like a month.
I mean, I will just turn it on when I'm home. That's like instead of watching anything else on Netflix, I'll just watch again. I've watched it like 2 to 3 nights in a row sometimes.
Dang. All right, give it to us. Hit us with the list.
Anyways,
definitive list. Right
so needless to say,
Schindler's List.
The Last Jedi is not my number one movie. It is Empire Strikes Back. Still to this day, best Star Wars. It's just like the fucking like vibe and the darkness of Empire for me is, and I do think this is an objective thing. Like everyone has their own favorite Star Wars.
It's all objective.
I think people who thinks their prequels are the favorite. That's dope. Clone Wars are the favorite. That's dope. Mine is that Empire darkness, like. I remember seeing that movie as a kid and being afraid, like being like genuinely creeped out, having to keep the light on when I'm watching the Dagobah stuff. Like I just remember it being like really dark and something I hadn't experienced before as a young lad.
You
so
thought Shrek
love
was coming out of
Empire.
the swamp?
What?
You thought Shrek was going to come out of that swamp and get you?
Man, we watched Shrek the other day. Hey, Shrek is, man, that's
Shrek
my
is-
shit.
It's
right
still a
there.
classic, right?
It's like
It's
so
great.
good, man. That
It's so
fucking
good.
opening scene. Go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry.
I love the like music, like the music scene at the end of the credits or whatever.
They
the
recorded that movie
you like
like
Smash
this.
Yeah,
Like they didn't even.
What?
They for most of those recordings, they weren't even in the same room.
yeah, that's crazy.
Doesn't make any
That's insane.
sense.
All right, so then our after Empire is The Last Jedi. I love this movie, and I can't wait to talk about it. It is the movie that I am the most excited to talk about and argue about, and probably get the most angry about with it. And not angry is a bad word. Hype. I'll use hype as a word. And then after The Last Jedi, it's Rogue One. Man, what a perfect movie that is.
That sound is me smiling.
Yeah,
It's perfect, but it's number 3.
and so that I was gonna say is
Three-way tie.
these top 3 movies are so close. Like they are like I love them all. Like I think they're all amazing. And so they're all very close. It's like a tier, if you will. So then after that, The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's just New Hope perfected, and so that's kind of like why I put it there is because I do think it is such a pleasure that we got that we're getting this new Star Wars stuff with it's incredible what they did with the original trilogy, but fast forward to technology to come up, and I mean they started it all, like Skywalker Ranch and all that kind of stuff. So they're the OGs anyway, so it's not like it's anything against them. But yeah, with the new technology and like, gosh, it's the cinematography in the new trilogy, like just that. I just remember it's got to be the when Rey's flying the Falcon for the first time, right?
That's one of the best scenes.
Like that
When she does the
scene,
flip and John
that
Boyega
scene
shoots.
captivated and like kicked this new trilogy off in such a in the best way it could have. Like it was so good.
Very
So
hype moment.
that's where that one goes. After that, I have The Rise of Skywalker. After The Force Awakens, I have The Rise of Skywalker. I love it. I really do. It like as it fell, it just fell. I think I had it above Force Awakens or something before. But like, because I did love it. I remember I left the movie and I just like, oh man, they did such a good job. There's just a couple of things in it that like really, really like still like irritate me. And I'm still kind of undecided on how I feel about some of them. And one being my girl Rose Tico. So, and we'll talk about that
Rest in peace to the homie.
then. But she's not done. She's not done.
She big dead, bro. She big dead, bro.
Nah.
Rip
She's
Town.
definitely not dead. And she.
Forever in the friend
I
zone.
hope
though.
I hope we have not seen the last of her. Let me just say that.
Oh, we have. Send you that story.
Hey, say what you love, okay?
Story all closed.
Anyways, so and then after The Rise of Skywalker, it's A New Hope. Yeah, I love that movie. I kicked it off for all its issues, and it's just amazing how they got that shit made. And but yeah, I mean, it's kicked it all off, right? It's the best. It's the OG. So loved it. Return of the Jedi is my least favorite of the original trilogy. I don't know, like that's just kind of where it fell for me. I know the Ewoks and the indoor scene has some silliness in it. I love it all. I think it's all great, but that's just where it fell. I'd say after that and up is also a tier where going now to this next tier, we're kind of dropping a little more in like I have much more problems with these movies. So after Return of the Jedi is Solo. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it could have been better. I need to watch it again. It didn't like really, it was better than the prequels, but it didn't really, I don't know. It just didn't
do it for you.
make it. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but, I am looking forward to seeing it again and seeing if like there's things that, kind of maybe I missed before, but that's where that one is. I think Attack of the Clones is my favorite prequel, so that's after Solo, and then Phantom Menace after that, and then Revenge of the Sith at the end, which I think Revenge of the Sith should have been maybe the best Star Wars movie of every
It had the
Star Wars
potential,
movie.
right?
Like like right, like just everything that's going down in that movie, and that's kind of why, like, for a while I would say Revenge of the Sith was my favorite prequel, just because of like the magnitude of the things that happened in that movie and how I wanted it to be amazing. But like now it's more so that the sins of that movie have just made me have to put it at the bottom, because how those, in my mind, for my personal preference, even though like, you know, I'm not making, you know, multi-million-dollar movies, but I wish they would have done those things better and differently. So the sins of Revenge of the Sith make it my bottom of the barrel, as it were, Star Wars movie rankings.
Okay. Stokes chicken wing. Stokes out here. Let's go. Give it to me.
Oh no! Are we giving the very quick rebuttal to that? Terrible
No, because I
right
felt
there?
it. I felt the energy, so I need to hear it, man. It's fresh. Let's get it.
Good. Because that's what we're gonna do. So right off the bat, just gotta say, man, Revenge of the Sith. It can't be the last. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, Rage. Like, it can't be absolutely the worst. Him
Very
killing
well done.
younglings is like the
Very
best
well
thing
done.
in the whole movie. Anyways, all right. So
That
here's
was
the
a good
list.
scene.
I appreciate you so much.
That scene, the younglings scene, like one of the very few really dope scenes in that movie. I agree with that.
Which one? When he kills them, or when Ewan McGregor is like trying not to laugh when he delivers that line?
No, when he walks in and the kid, like, you know, what are we supposed to do, Master Skywalker or something? That little moment was pretty dark, and I liked that.
Oh man.
Die.
What a scene, man. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. It's so memeable. Like, I can't hate it because I love memes, man. It killed them all, man. And then later, you know, it's Ewan McGregor trying to deliver that line is like my favorite thing in all Star Wars. Where he's like, you could tell, like, as he's delivering it, he's like trying to act like he's crying and like overcome with grief, but the man's just like trying to stifle the laugh, and it's so good. He was killing younglings. It's so perfect, man. It kills me every single time. Anyways, without further ado, here's the list. Number 1, Force Awakens. You know, for reasons I talked about earlier, it's the first movie I saw in the series in theaters, and I love it, man. For me, as you said it perfectly, Rage. You said it is A New Hope perfected, and that's what I feel, man. I feel like it is. Yes, is it derivative? Is it pretty much the exact same story? In a lot of ways, yes. And it's also kind of like a new launching point for the series. And there's a lot of similarities between the two. But for me, it is A New Hope perfected. It is A New Hope, but exciting. A New Hope,
but like
good pacing, but it still has like all the old, like you said, the cinematography is great. It, like the lasers feel chunky, man. They feel present. You know, the feeling that you had the first time you see Vader in A New Hope. Yeah. You totally feel that with Kylo Ren when he like stops a laser midair in the opening scene.
And
of the
look,
movie.
A New Hope is like on unlevel playing field or Force Awakens is obviously on unlevel playing field with A New Hope in a multitude of reasons. Not being the technical parts of it and technology, but just the fact that Force Awakens also has the original trilogy to just kind of pull from, and like, you know, everything's so already built in, but just the brilliance of the way like JJ capitalizing on all those things and just let us. I think yeah, you want to use the word fan service or whatever, that's great, but like it's well.
But
what more do you want?
The diehards can't complain of, hey, we want the old series, and they can complain when they get fan service. You know, like you can't have it both. Like I don't know, that's how I feel anyway. I think that it's ridiculous when people are like, I want them to be like the original trilogy, and then they get literally their favorite characters from the original trilogy, and they complain about it. I'm like, hey, all right, man, you got to pick one side or the other here. Anyways, I think Force Awakens is a fantastic movie. I love it.
I can't wait to make fun of the internet.
Right. My second one is Rogue One. I think all of us kind of like love Rogue One. And for me, I kind of what I touched on earlier. Yeah, kind of like what I touched on earlier was just like I love everything that happens outside of the main saga so much more than I like what happens in the actual saga.
Sure.
And I also love Donnie Yen. Like I'm I love a lot of the martial arts movies, and Donnie Yen is that dude. Like Donnie Yen is great. I like Saw Gerrera. I like a lot of that stuff that's going on in that movie. Yes, it is a retcon of all retcons,
but a fantastic one. Come on now.
Yeah, it's
right,
so good.
right. And it's and the way that it leads, I think Jay, you said this before as well. Like the way that it leads into A New Hope,
God.
it just makes you want to watch A New Hope, which is the only thing that makes me want to watch A New Hope. So, not to shit on that movie, but anyways, Rogue One for me is really fun, and it's number 2. Number 3 for me is Empire. Empire is, as far as the original trilogy goes, man, it's a classic. It's so good. And part of what I love about it so much is I think that it kind of abandoned a lot of some of the campiness that was in the first one. And I think that it also, I like to see the bad guy win. You know, as the troll of this group, I like to see the bad guy win. And you see that, man. I mean, the dude chops off his own son's hand. I mean, stuff gets really real in that movie. The man Lando comes out. Like, I mean, there's a lot of like cool twists in that. Han Solo is put in carbonite. Shit goes down. The movie is the bad guy wins like over and over in that movie. And it's cool. It's dope. It makes the stakes feel real. It makes it feel like, hey man, the good guys for once in cinema might not win. And I appreciate that. Leading me into number 4, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh shit!
So shit. I gotta say, man, I love it. For me, it's the most memeable movie in the entire series, and I am a sucker for the memes. Man, I enjoy it. It's like you said, it has all the potential to be the best movie in the series because of the super tragic story that's being told, because of the magnitude of everything that's happening, the birth of Darth Vader, the death of the Jedi Order. I mean, there's so much that's going on in that movie that makes it that's great. And yes, you can sit here and argue about, you know, the execution of it all, but I would even say some of like the poor execution is so funny that for me it's even still enjoyable in a totally different way, maybe an unintended way. Yeah. But I still appreciate it. Like they do my man Count Dooku dirty, like right off in the start of that movie. Like my man gets dealt with. General Grievous, I love him. I think he's awesome. I like General
He's
Grievous.
very cool.
Yeah,
his design and
cool
everything.
Design. Very cool character. So
Also,
that nigga ain't like a Jedi or like a Sith Lord. He just
Can somebody explain to me like why he has asthma? Like what's the deal, man?
Well, you know, man, when he had a real body, you know, the brain's a phantom pain. So he was like, oh shit, nigga.
Phantom asthma, man.
Got this robot body. I still got asthma and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's dramatic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
I do know what you're saying. I wonder if this is that canon? Is that like why he actually has a robot body?
That's but not that's pre. It depends on your ass. It's pre-Gavin, really. Depending on which book you look into, but
okay,
that's how I get down.
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
All right. So I like that movie. It's a lot of fun. I also think it's the best of the Hayden Christensen performances.
Oh man.
And and I love Ewan McGregor, man. And Ewan McGregor is so good in that movie. He's so perfect. He's great.
He does indeed have the high ground.
He does.
He did.
So many names, man. I mean, they have a fight on a lava world.
I
hope.
hope.
What more do you want?
Because I love Ewan. I just hope, because I know we're getting a Kenobi series. Like, I know it's not confirmed, but it's happening. And I just hope.
Yeah, man. He just debuffed the rumor. He said it.
I just hope they use in Kenobi We Trust to troll the fan base in a very like. I was this is what you were talking about, Jay. I was going off in the Instagram chat the other day.
Yeah.
Just.
You're talking about last night? What, like all hundreds of messages
that was us.
that I
we were talking about that.
Yeah, man. I don't know what y'all talking about because I didn't read. I read half of it.
I'll do that.
I skimmed it and I kept going.
Just that, like the themes of that.
Sorry.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for anything Kenobi they do. I don't really care about Old Ben. I mean, Old Ben's not really interesting to me. I think that, anyways, I'll get to that later whenever we talk about that. But anyways, next in the series for me is Last Jedi. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Sorry. Solo is number 5. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I read it out of order. Solo is number 5 for me because let me just tell you, this is a fun movie. I'm here to have fun. I'm not necessarily, it's space wizards. I'm not necessarily here for the story. I'm here to have fun. And Solo is a lot of fun. I have one major gripe with the movie, and that's the way that they make his name, I think that's
yeah, that's pretty terrible.
It's so bad. It's awful. I almost walked out of the theater when I was like, oh,
Stokes,
man,
you'll appreciate this. This is up there, and Jesse hates this too as another fellow X-Men fan. Whenever is it First Class? Whenever he says wreak havoc, and then he shoots the shit. Yeah, it's like up there with that kind of cheesy ass shit.
It's so bad.
Just
it's
like
so
inside
crazy,
joke.
Man.
I don't.
Oh, you're not an X-Men fan?
Well, no, not that. The other thing, what y'all talking? You're talking about how they say like his name Han and then say Han sometimes. Is that what y'all talking about?
No, well,
you didn't see Solo. Well, so spoilers for Solo.
I need to watch it then.
Whenever he leaves the planet and then
right.
he gives his name and then he's like, "You got anybody with you?" And he's like, "Nah." And then he's like, "Well, you're Han Solo." And that was it. It's some old bullshit.
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" He's like, "Han." Well, what's your last name? Or who are your people? I don't have any people. Oh, Han Solo.
Yeah, it was like a weird pause and everything.
Right? Oh my
God.
I just like threw popcorn all over the theater. I was like, I'm getting out of here. And then like literally in the next scene, it's like Woody Harrelson. I'm like, all right, I'm back. Like, let's go. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
But so the movie's great, man.
They knew who he was. Then is what we're saying.
We'll get to all that.
Okay,
when you watch the movie. We're gonna watch all these movies later on.
My bad, folks.
Yeah. So, but that movie's a lot of fun. It's cool. I liked it. My man Childish Gambino in there doing his thing,
killing it, man.
It killed it. It was great.
Him and that droid.
He was amazing, Lando.
Like oh my god.
It's great, man. It's a lot of fun. I like the movie. Moving on. Last Jedi for me is next on the list. Last Jedi is just a lot of fun as well. And like visually, I think the scene, I do have some problems with Last Jedi, but I think that the scene that really like sold me was when they're fighting on like the sand world and like that red sand is coming up. I was like, this is visually like the best stuff that they've done in the series. Like this is amazing for me anyway. And there's some really cool stuff. I also like Last Jedi because it takes a lot of risk, and I appreciate when movies do that. Next on it would be Phantom Menace. I think that it's for me the pod racing stuff was a lot of fun. The movie is exciting, and people like to shit on Phantom Menace for whatever reason. I guess because of Jar Jar or for whatever. Jar Jar. Right. Darth Jar Jar is a fan theory that we need to go into at some point as well.
Yeah.
But thank you. Somebody needs to be finally some real fans.
Secret Sith Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Right. Absolutely. But the movie's just fun. I mean, the pod racing is obviously cool. And honestly, I mean, you want to talk about Force Awakens being derivative? It's kind of the same thing as well. It's like, they find a little boy on literally the exact same planet where they find Luke, and he becomes, a Jedi.
But he Jesus though.
Yes, space Jesus.
Yeah, he just, his mom just woke up one day. Oh shit, a nigga pregnant. Guess I have Jesus, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, surely there had to be like a dude that she was dating at the time. That
man, the dude.
I don't know.
He's so powerful. He created his own life. Don't need no daddy. Fuck it.
Okay. Next for me is Return of the Jedi. I think it's fun. I think to do some cool stuff on the moon planet with the trees, with the walkers. Return of the Jedi is cool. I also love that entire opening sequence with Jabba.
That's good stuff for sure.
It's really good. Even though it kind of what's up?
I would say Luke coming out of nowhere, just fucking Super Saiyan 3, just like, where's he been? Yeah. He's been doing push-ups apparently. Now he's that motherfucking G.
right. He's been doing backflips with a Shrek looking dude on his back, and now he's a badass.
Don't make me destroy you.
And in the exact same scene, the guy that you think is a badass, Boba Fett, just gets dealt with. And don't get me started.
My man got 8 seconds of screen time.
8 seconds, man. If that. Like, he got dealt with. And it just goes to show why Mando is so much better as a character. And also, something I always get wrong. Is it Millennium Falcon or Millennial?
First one.
Millennium.
Aluminum?
Yeah, Millennium.
Millennium.
The
Falcon.
Falcon.
Okay, so Millennium.
Or is it Falcon or is it Falcon?
Falcon, yeah, they say the shit so many different ways.
It's Falcon.
Or is it Falcon?
They just say
Han,
it. Some of the people say
Han.
Falcon.
Or is it Falcon?
Fucking Millennium. Fucking.
Yeah,
Like a
fucking.
Millennium Vulcan. There you go.
Anyways, after Return of the Jedi, I got A New Hope. I mean, it is the OG, and from appreciating like filmmaking and cinema and stuff like that, there's obviously some really cool practical stuff that they do there that's kind of groundbreaking. Second to last for me is Rise of Skywalker. I just got a lot of issues with that movie, and we'll get to that whenever we talk about it. I'm not trying to, just burn the whole thing down right now. And then last, I feel like it has to be last. Attack of the Clones, man. Like, there's some cool stuff in there, but that dialogue when they're on Naboo, like the whole.
But the clone troopers.
The clone troopers are cool, and the whole fight scene with Jango and Obi-Wan is great as well. But man,
Even Yoda
that dialogue on
Nab can't save it.
No, it can't save it. It can't. I hate sand. I'm like, oh my god, what are we doing? I killed them all. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then their whole love story. It's so gross. It's so badly done. I'm not a fan, but it's memeable.
I mean,
hilarious.
okay, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Yeah, we'll save it. We've already been going for entirely too long. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
Prelims out here.
But yeah, that's my list. So yeah,
Man, all right. So yeah, I just can't wait to get to it because you two they're completely flipped and it's awesome. I can dig it very much. All right, so I'm gonna burn through these right quick before we get Warriors to give his, and then we'll give closing thoughts. So I'm gonna make it right. Rogue One's number one. Just to very quickly, just to touch back on what I was saying before.
I get it. It
is the people who love Star Wars, grew up with Star Wars. Even one of the guys who was on the original Star Wars came up with the story for it. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. We'll get that back when we review it.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that when we talk about it.
No, not Gary. Not Gary Witt. I'm talking about literally one of the people, the same guy that made Photoshop. He had this story for Rogue One.
What do you mean when you say that?
I mean, he looked like my man. Literally,
the actual dude that made Photoshop,
Mr. Adobe.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
Mr. Adobe. Yeah.
His name Adobe.
So that guy was his idea, and they ran with it. Stokes touched on it a little bit. That retcon is fantastic. It shows war, which, I mean, Star Wars, you really see the real war in there, and I think that's very dope. Good stuff. Rogue One, the best. Force Awakens, again, it's modern Star Wars, man. It gives you the feel, it gives you the vibe, it gives you the sound, it gives you the sights, all this stuff. They nailed it. I mean, JJ put his heart into that, and I felt it. Killed it. Last Jedi, it's it's so weird because the critic ratings on it are still very high, but the fan ratings on it are still super low. I think that
because the fans are dumb.
I think the things that Jedi does right make it so high on my list, and they even outshadow the bad things because that movie really does have. I mean, every movie has this problem, to kind of go a little bit deeper into it, this problem of what do we do with the side story, what do we do with the main story, and then how do we kind of end it all? The main story and that main thread line for Jedi is it's some of the best Star Wars. And the reason why it's lower is because, why it doesn't jump above them, because it doesn't all mesh together. But that stuff, the whole Kylo and Rey dynamic and what that sets up for us in the next movie, it's perfect. They nailed it. And they give us really cool stuff with the Force, with them being able to talk through and pass things through that we'll get in Rise. And then right behind it, I do have Rise. Rise is super fun. It's fast paced, breakneck. It's what I kind of want in most movies, but I don't really want to ask for because I don't feel like it's attainable. It's like, just give me the stuff. Like, drop me.
Yeah.
Drop me after whatever that rising action is in the second act and just let me go for 2 hours. And he literally does.
It was literally just like, all right, y'all get back in the Falcon. Let's go.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, we're not setting it up. We're not doing anything. We're just going balls to the wall. We're not going to stop.
They did it with the opening scroll. I mean, Palpatine is back.
Yeah.
Like, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, first word. It's like, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
You don't need to reveal. Let's just go.
Yeah, it's like, we're here. We're here. We're doing it. It's Star Wars. Sit back. I got you. Let's wrap this shit up with a bow. And they do it. And it's really good. I dig it. Then I got A New Hope. Man, something about A New Hope as far as the originals it was probably my least favorite if you had to ask me when I first kind of saw these, and even maybe before watching them recently. But I don't know, something about it has kind of really connected to me. A lot of the stuff that Rage said about, Luke being, this vehicle that we kind of go through, even though Luke's not my favorite person, but I think as far as his story goes, it kind of has a beginning and an ending for this. And it, they win the day. They're the hero. They're the people. And I think that's, as far as Star Wars go and having its own kind of tied up thing, I do like that a lot. Yeah, and it's a slower movie, which I do like compared to all of them. Like, I like that, they're kind of just hanging out. He's just doing whatever. He doesn't kind of want to do it. He likes his sister, yada, yada, yada. That's kind of all cool to me, as weird as that is. That's the stuff I'm looking for. He likes his sister, right? So yeah, that's A New Hope. Then right behind New Hope, I got Empire. Man, Empire, I mean, come on, Hawk, like, snow speeders, the best. Then we got Return of the Jedi.
Tauntaun.
Yeah.
When he chopped open the wontons.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, when he chopped open the fucking wonton.
It's a tauntaun.
So,
I didn't call it a wonton last time.
We've talked about this, but this is the second ever first episode of this podcast.
I said tauntaun the whole time. I never called it a wonton.
And he called it a wonton. But yeah. So go back whenever he cuts open the tauntaun and all the guts come out. Man, we watched that at least 100 times back and forth. But yeah, so Return of the Jedi, I mean, as much as I do give shit for Luke's inexplicable hyperbolic time chamber levels of leveling up between Empire and Return of the Jedi, man, seeing him come in and being on all black and having his green lightsaber, man, I get that hype because that shit is awesome.
It's not that unexplainable. He becomes a cyborg between the movies, man. He gets a new arm.
Right, he gets a chip.
Yeah, he's a cyberpunk now.
He's the missing android, 22, I guess, 21, or where the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's dope. And of course, man, the last fight with him and Vader and, flipping it and he's throwing down Palpatine. Oh, it's good. I can kind of do without almost everything that's happening on Earth, but I guess it has to have its place. Not Earth. I'm sorry.
Earth.
Indoor.
On Earth. Okay, yeah. Fuck us, man. All right.
Well. Yeah, and then so after Return,
Goku it.
after Return, we got Solo. Man, that's the one I'm kind of Solo and Rise. I've only seen Rise once, so it may move in the list a little bit. Solo, I probably should have watched more because, like, conceptually, I do love everything about it, and the fact that Ron Howard was to make anything legible about this movie after kind of come in the 11th hour is fucking fantastic. And I just love me some Ron Howard, but
he saved it for sure.
Yeah, Bino's good. I love the stuff with his droid. The guy who plays Solo is good. Kind of up and down.
That's Chris Pine.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking
your boy Vision's in there.
I was about to say fucking Paul Bettany, man. He kills it. Like, it's the bad guy. He's, as far as Star Wars villains go, I mean, they kind of come and go and whatever. But he really did. Kira. Yeah, you're right. Kira.
Just popped in my head.
Paul Bettany kills him. I mean, Woody Harrelson. He's just being Woody Harrelson. That's fun. Yeah, it's just a good ass time. The fucking whole train scene, they're just doing some heist ass shit. And I love, speaking of war, that whole 10-minute scene where he's literally in the war before he joins up
trenches.
Yeah, like that.
1917.
Cool. My God, I want 2 hours of that nonstop. Because just give me the 1917, but in Star Wars. That shit would be dope.
Yeah, it's coming.
And then fucking Phantom Menace. Shouts out to Phantom Menace. For me at least, all these prequels have a lot of different problems for them. But man, pod racing. If you talk about world building,
now this is pod racing.
Yeah, if you really put something in their Phantom Menaces, it kills it. I mean, the whole storyline of Anakin being one with the Force, and that's why he can power these things. That's some dope ass shit. I'm a little creeped out why this. I know they probably weren't that much in age, but it just looked like this much older lady hitting on this little kid, or where the fuck was happening that led to this. Got me a little bit weird, but whatever. That's where we're at. So
it's not weird when they're a little older, but he was
in the beginnings, right? Yeah, the memories.
That's what I'm saying.
It's different.
The memes make it great.
Gavin years, bro. It's different.
I mean, if I was him, I'd be trying to hit on her too at that age, but.
Of course, yeah, but it's weird when you think about it. Yeah, when you were a kid on that little planet, I was really looking at. She was like, no.
I love the meme. I love the meme where it's.
I can't wait to talk about that though.
He's looking at her. The kid Anakin is looking at her, and he's like, "I'm gonna hit that." And she's looking back at him, and she's like, "I'm gonna."
But
hit
there's just so much. There's just so much weird dialogue between Padme and Anakin in the prequels.
But there's not between Luke and Leia. Like,
I mean,
come on,
no,
man.
I know you're right. I mean, well, no, not on the same level.
He
not on
know,
the same level.
You know what I'm
He was
saying?
trying to
Yeah.
clap his
Different.
sister's
Like,
cheeks,
I mean,
man.
I will not say it's
this
the
little
same.
kid was like, "What's up, girl?" But then Luke was like, "Oh, what's up? You want a kid? Oh shit, you my sister." Like, after the fact, it's a little different.
Yeah,
I mean, it ain't cool, but it's a little different.
and they didn't even know either. That's probably the biggest Star Wars retcon, right? Like, hey, we have another person that we haven't necessarily written into the story, so we'll just make it Leia. You know, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and then we got Revenge of the Sith. Next to last, man, it's next to the last, but I can watch that final fight so many times over.
Thank you.
Me too, but I'm laughing most of the time.
Yeah, no,
But that's okay. That's what makes it great.
yeah, it's hyper
In a way.
out of me. It's like it's what you want. You got good versus evil. We're all in love, but he's pissed the fuck off for no goddamn reason. Like, yeah,
On my power.
yeah, exactly. No, it's good ass shit. I like it, but it's still trash for the most part. And then Attack of the Clones, man.
Damn.
Just every time I start Attack of the Clones, I'm just like, why am I here? What am I doing? It gets better towards the end. Like I said before, the fights are cool. Yoda jumping around, man. Like that's just tight. I appreciate that all the way.
That's
Basically,
it.
when you're just chopping Boba Fett's daddy's head
It's
off.
Clone,
Yeah,
it's Clone
basically
Wars,
you-
and the first time we got to see Yoda, I remember being. Did I see you with any of y'all? But I just remember when I saw Yoda fight for the first time. When I saw him like take his lightsaber out and like throw his cane down, I was, oh my god.
I don't remember seeing this movie in theaters,
yeah,
but
that was big, bro.
I remember watching that trailer. Or I remember the trailer because the trailer teases that. That's the stinger for that trailer.
Yeah,
And I just remember
yeah.
like, oh my, like
When it happened,
This is hype.
yeah. I remember like
He-
audibly saying like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, it's like he
Man,
throws
you're
the.
gonna love Clone Wars then.
Oh, is that just Yoda jumping around doing?
It's
No, I know.
really-
I've already
yeah,
seen it's the
it's
first episode. He's like,
Yeah, he
fucking
does. He
people up.
goes down with the troopers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
little
yeah.
planet. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
and then
you got to watch that in chronological order as well too. That helps a lot.
true.
Yeah. No, start with the movie. The movie happens like right after Clone. Like,
Wait,
Attack
you
of
got to
the
start with
Clones
the
ends.
animated though, right? The Samurai Jack, then the movie.
Yeah, I guess that.
Jack.
Yeah, I don't. That one wasn't on the timeline that I was reading, but I'm guessing that makes sense.
Yeah,
'cause I know it
because
is.
that's what Greenland. I'm pretty sure.
But I'm just saying. But I'm just saying the movie, the actual, the not the Samurai Jack one, but the like.
Yeah,
3D
that's
animation one.
before the
That movie is
show.
like literally picks up from that Battle of Geonosis, I believe. So at the end of Attack of the Clones.
Oh, quick sidebar. I played Lego Star Wars with my cousin, and man, I know those Lego movies aren't like, or Lego games aren't like 1-to-1, but there was lots of shit that was going down. I was like, I don't know. I don't remember any of these things happening. But yeah, if you want a little dumb Star Wars game, Lego Star Wars, shouts out.
I
Like,
don't want
are you talking about like in canon stuff that was weird or something?
I think it had
Or
to do
just
with Clone
events?
Wars stuff, and I think it was probably set from the cartoon.
There are like a bunch of Lego like things on Disney Plus as well. I'm probably never gonna get that deep, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe I will.
This is an older
like
game.
it.
I
That's
would've-
what she said.
I would assume. I would assume this game has to do
Only
with the
about an hour,
animated
43
series,
minutes
but
in.
I'm not 100% on it though.
What?
All right,
Okay,
that's good. Juarez,
Yo, what's up?
take us home. Give us your order.
Okay. So some of this might be wrong, but y'all need to correct me as I go.
No, you're okay.
First, best one, I'm gonna say episode 9. That's my favorite one. That's Rise of Skywalker. More probably because it's fresh in my mind.
Saw it with your boy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Made some memories and shit or whatever.
The hype is real out here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Really, some emotional shit, man. I love me some.
What was your
special
favorite part of
effects.
that movie? Just real quick.
Huh?
Your favorite.
When,
The favorite.
when Palpatine came out the fucking dark shit and that bitch looked like a motherfucking zombie. All
He looks
baggy
so
face,
dope. He
Stank,
looks so
stank
dope.
mouth and shit.
God,
That
so
shit
His
is all
fortress
over.
is so cool, man. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about him. His
The big
fortress
fucking
is
arm.
something else.
Yes,
I
we'll
know.
talk about it later. Shut up.
Yeah,
At least-
we'll talk about it later.
At least the walk up to it, that whole little cube floating in the lightning,
Yeah.
that shit was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
It was tight. It reminded me of some shit straight out of Naruto. Man, I know y'all don't watch Naruto, but it's like
It's
a
lit.
dude, like this like boss in there. He come out like the same way, like hooked up to like the machine and shit.
Mhm.
But y'all had to be there to watch it, man. I seen all the
You talking
episodes.
about Rock Lee?
No, not Rock Lee, man. That nigga he can only do karate. He can't even. Wait, that's a different.
It gave me Portal 2 vibes.
Argument.
It's GLaDOS, right? That's on the big thing in the center of it or whatever. The lady who's running the whole shit.
I ain't played Portal all the way out,
Okay,
man. You on your own.
Never mind.
My
My bad.
Anybody out here playing the box?
Okay. The
video
orange box.
game.
Hey,
Orange
best
box.
deal.
Yeah,
Best
yeah.
deal in games. Orange box.
Hey, I ain't played none of them. Let's see. Next up gonna be episode 7. That's Force Awakens.
See.
You know what I'm saying? I like that one because, why not? I remember it. Episode 8 after that. That's the last Jedi, but your boy Luke in there being all mopey and shit, doing what he do best and shit, drinking green titty milk. Fuck it. Hey, that's the one he drinking the titty milk one green and shit. Nasty ass boy.
Delicious.
It's like, yummy. But you know what I'm saying? I like that movie. That was tight. After that for me, I'm had to go back to episode 1. You know what I'm saying? This one with Hellraiser dude in it. Right.
Yeah, Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Hellraiser review.
Yeah, Darth Maul, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. Bullshit that he was fighting them dudes and the homeboy jumped out the pit, killed him. I'm gonna call bullshit on it every time because Lily did the shit 2 movies later. And you know what I'm saying, cut my homeboy, whatever.
Obi-Wan's better than all of them, obviously.
Okay,
so that's
he was in a pit, bro. He literally was off balance in a pit.
He's that homie though. It's always
so true.
Okay. Let's
so
move
true.
on. Okay, whatever.
I'm with you.
Revenge of the Sith. We went over this one because this is what homeboy said. I'm finna kill all these little kids up in here. So, you know what I'm saying? Prepare to meet your maker, you little shits. Hey, y'all. Hey, cut that out, man. I don't know nobody listening to this and everything. This dude is a sociopath. Next
but
up,
you are. It's okay.
Yeah, I am. We all know it. After that, Attack of the Clone, you know what I'm saying? No reason other than, you know what I'm saying, the homeboy, the true Jar Jar Binks, you know what I'm saying?
God in heaven.
The Sith Lord out here, you know what I'm saying, out here. Hey, come on, bro, because the dude, he like, come on, man. He out there on the battlefield, bro. He didn't get hurt or nothing. Come on, man. Y'all know something got to be up with that, bro. Dude can't be that lucky. Yeah, baby.
It's definitely something.
Baby, this the wrap up. This the wrap up right here. I'm talking about Jar Jar. All right, after that, we're going to go to Empire Strikes Back. That's when Han Solo, that's when he get caught, right? He tell the homegirl, she like, I love you. And he be like, yeah, girl, I know. That's that one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That one.
It's Lando.
Yeah. Then Return of the Jedi. That's the one that's got the little teddy bear dogs, right? That look like that look like Champ. The Ewoks. Yeah. That's them. Hey, they look like Champ though.
A little bit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, on a bad day. Then after that, worst one, A New Hope. Wait, this one where they murdered the kids too? Wait, which one is that? No, that's the one where she got the message in R2D2.
Yep.
Okay, it's at the bottom because I just can't remember, and it's all a fucking jumble. So this is the one that I remember least. So it go at the bottom. That's no other reason than that. After that, Rogue One, Star Wars. That's a cop out. That movie's so fucking cliche. That's just a money suck by Disney. That's right, sweetheart. They're all cliche. But this one is a money suck. Let's make a movie about one of the biggest plot holes in another movie, and you know what I'm saying, rake in the cash. But like, come on, Jay, be serious.
I hate you so much.
And Solo.
Joseph Campbell's A Hero's Journey.
Yeah, baby, we're gonna. What's that?
She's right. She's right.
Oh, that's George Lucas' friend. Right? Damn.
Keep it in, man. Keep it all in.
And last one, worst one all is Solo, Star Wars story.
Because
I never seen it.
Gotcha.
So somebody gotta be last. So it's this one.
Oh man.
I think my favorite from the original of you doing that was you talking about A New Hope and you talking about how you didn't like Luke growing up on that dingy ass planet with the foster parents.
Yep.
Man, I was like crying.
Yeah, man, with the swamp rats, man. Like my boy
There it
Shrek.
is.
I make a mean swamp rat stew. Oh man, I love me some Shrek.
Damn. All right. Well, shit. There you go.
It's a good place to end it.
3
All right, guys.
hours later.
Yeah, not bad. Listen, this is beautiful. Thank you for joining us. You guys killed it.
Wait.
Stay-
Before we go,
Where do we
need
go
to-
from here?
yeah. So going forward, we've decided we're gonna start.
Can we plug
We're gonna go.
advertising in
That's the
there?
reason why I did the timeline. We're gonna go in Star Wars chronological order.
Of course. Yes. I was about to get to that, y'all.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were wrapping it up.
No. Well, that's part of the wrap up. That's
I'm
part of the
sorry.
wrap up.
Wrap that
So
shit up,
stay
B.
with us.
That's
We're
all.
A word
going
from our sponsors.
after
Yeah,
word
word
from our
from our
sponsors, chicken
sponsor.
wings, all the good stuff like that. We're gonna go in the order, as he just said, chronologically, one all the way through.
When you say chronological, what you mean when you say that?
1 to 9,
Okay,
as they
all
go
bet,
in the
bet.
story.
I understand.
Ascending.
Oh, okay then. Bet. Ascend. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
So
Before the
yeah,
Battle
so
of
we're
Yavin,
just-
then after the Battle of Yavin.
Oh my god!
God damn, Gavin.
Stay tuned. We'll be back next time for episode 1, A Phantom Menace. Peace.
Bye.
Okay, guys, love you.
The Oblivious Podcast is brought to you by Chris Rowland, Dustin Stokes, LaQuinza Morgan, and me, Jay Johnson. We write, produce, and host all content. The show is recorded remotely from Meridian, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, and Chicago, Illinois. To contribute to the show or just to say hello, you can find us at obliviouspod.com. There you will also find a link to our Patreon. Our email is obliviouspod@gmail.com, Instagram @obliviouspod, and Twitter @obliviouspod1. To contact us individually, you can find us on Twitter @RayJarKan, @LaQuinza, and @ObliviousStokes. I'll be on Instagram @Chuki.